Rudyard Kipling and the Business World. Today we want to talk about that genius of universal literature who is Rudyard Kipling. But we are going to do it commenting from our point of view his most transcendental work, the poem If, concerning his thoughts with the possible messages that already entered the 21st century leave us, the professional of the business world. I am José Manuel García-Lomas Allen-Perkins, President and first consultant of the firm García-Lomas Allen-Perkins, the ADO Corporation. Rudyard Kipling was a British writer and poet who received the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1907, in consideration of his power of observation, originality, imagination, virile ideas, and an extraordinary talent for narration. At that time, even virile ideas were rewarded. Although some of the best of his writing is missing, his most universal and highest poem, the poem If, is a great example of his depth. Author of short stories, children's tales, novels, and poetry, he is remembered for his stories and poems about British soldiers in India, as well as for his children's stories. Rudyard Kipling, born in Bombay, India, in 1865 and died in London in 1936. Among his most notable work is King from India, The Jungle Book, Captain Courageous, Mowgli, The Man Who Would Be King. Many of them are taken to the cinema by Hollywood, and as we have already indicated, his most universal works, the poem If. We are going to present If poem by Rudyard Kipling together with our comments and his involvement in the business world. We will develop it referring to the messages that we, with our perspective and professional experience in this 21st century, extract from his poem for our professional world. Let's start. 1. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you but make allowances for their doubting too. Rudyard Kipling refers to an essential quality of every person and professional who wants to achieve success in their professional and in their particular life, which is self-control, self-mastery. He also communicates the importance of tolerance towards others. 2. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good and not talk too wise. Again, it refers to the importance of being tolerant of others and strict with yourself, as Rudolf Steiner used to say, besides being able to develop high human quality without considering yourself superior to others. Rudolf Steiner and the cries, why do you look at the speck in someone else's eye and not look at the beam on your own? 3. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make your thought your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, the highest professional must have a mixture of realistic and idealistic people. In the wardrobe of the professional of the world of the tennis in Wimbledon, London, England, they are read in the head of the seats of the sportsmen these last paragraphs of this part of the poem. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. A great message for the professionals of the high competition who must be able to apply it, which does not happen every day. To see both positive and negative situations in life, to see them with a certain distance, dramatizing both victories and defeats. 4. If you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twist it by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the thing you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. The value of persistence, of perseverance, of strength of spirit, not discouraging, not fainting, getting up again 1,000 times if necessary. 5. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toes, and lose and start again at your beginning, and never breathe a word about your loss. The professional of faith develops his enterprise spirit, assuming the necessary risk. The authentic entrepreneur does not want to have the regrets of not having tried, because he knows and applies the fact that worse than failing is not having tried, knowing how to resist in difficult situations. 6. If you can forge your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. The value of the third power of the human soul, willpower, the operating will, the willpower, especially in limit situations when life confronts us, without losing faith in oneself or assistance, hope of the divine providence that does not abandon us. 7. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, not lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but no one too much. The high professional must be able to not be affected in a negative way by our relationship with others, regardless of their status, developing empathy, always with a sense of humanity. As the Stoic says, choose not to be harmed, and you will not feel harm. Do not feel hurt, and you have not been hurt. Marcus Aurelius. 8. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distant run, yours is the earth and everything that is in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. The value of time in life of every person and the professional. Let's value our time that goes by and won't come back. Let us develop our actions as people of action, because this is a world of action, and we have not come here to stand still, but to fulfill our destiny, which some call karma. As the Stoics say again, when you wake up in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. I want to complete this video with Rudyard Kipling's thought in other verses of his very appropriate for use in the business world. Rudyard Kipling, in a moment of inspiration, said, I have 6 honest servants who taught me everything I know. Their names are when and where, how and who, what and why. These are the prototypes of open questions which produce a great amount of information if they are timely and skillfully used in our relationship with others and in the business world. And okay, if you are interested in our videos, I suggest you give a like and subscribe to our channels in Spanish and in English as we publish videos every week.